Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander, National Sales Manager for Bona Adhesives.
And I'm Rob Johnson from Bona Training.
How are you doing, Rob?
Pretty good, buddy. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
I noticed how you emphasized on the floor.
Yes.
You really hit floor.
Yes.
On the plural. Just
yes,
singular.
Singular.
Floor.
Yes.
Yeah. Singular.
Yes. I keep getting in trouble for that. So, Rob, let's talk about garages.
Oh, I bet there's nobody in the flooring industry, any flooring podcast out there, who has done something on garages. I'd love a good garage.
I couldn't agree more, man. It's part of the American experience, man. It comes along with automobiles. I mean, they were first, made and built to house automobiles. But what they have turned into over the years is pretty incredible. It says America, it is Highway 66, man. And so many things coming out of the, I mean, I don't know, probably half the people or 3/4 of people listen to us started in the garage in their business. So I thought, you know what, let's kind of talk about garages. They're more than a place that, and for a long time they've been more than a place to just store a car. I mean, there's storage spaces, there's offices, there's man caves. But what I like most about them is they are where dreams take off, right? I mean, look at how many businesses started in the garage somewhere, and it's pretty amazing.
You know who's got a good garage?
Who's that?
Rowdy, up in Michigan.
Does he really?
Yeah.
You didn't make it into the house, huh? You just relegated you to the garage?
No. Well, I'm talking to his garage, his shop.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got a good place. He's got 2 beer refrigerators, one on each end. And it just seems like everybody is very comfortable. His guys are, I think that's a really good sign of a good garage or a good shop where people come back, crack a beer, talk about the day, talk about tomorrow. I had some good vibes up in his place. So when you said garage, that was just one of the first ones that popped into my head.
I'll tell you another. I would love to have Jeff Sheaves' garage. He's got a super nice garage too.
Does he really?
Yeah. All right, Rob. I'm gonna list off some companies, Rob, that started in a garage. Okay. All right.
Go.
Disney started in a garage. Hewlett Packard started in a garage. Apple started in a garage. Microsoft, Dell, Virgin Airlines. Is Virgin Airlines? Yep. Virgin. Amazon, Google, Mattel, Maglife, Yankee Candle Company, Harley Davidson. These are all American companies that started in a garage somewhere, and that's the beauty of a garage, man. Because that's where dreams start, man. Where a guy says he's gonna do his own floor business, whatever. That's where more than likely it probably started in a garage. Tinkering in a garage is one of the greatest things that's happened to this country. In fact, I mean, that's where, like I said, just somebody tinkering on a motorcycle turned into Harley Davidson. Someone tinkering on some type of machine that he invented or whatever she invented turned into something else. And it all started in a garage. I'm actually a little concerned that garages are kind of going away. You know what I mean? With the housing and people having townhouses and, and condos and stuff like that. Just like wood shops in high school. I think the American garage, man, is look at weightlifting. I started lifting weights in the garage. Okay. Well, maybe that's not a good example. That's where things go wrong. But when I first started lifting weights with my brother in the garage, we got serious about lifting weights. And believe me, I'm telling you as a fat old guy, so don't think I'm trying to go on about how strong I was. I'm not.
We know how strong you are. We know you go to the gym. We know everybody knows that stuff.
No, I haven't. About it.
We get it.
I've been to the gym in a while lately. I kind of fell off the track, but you know what? So we had 2 things that motivated me. I had Arnold Schwarzenegger's encyclopedia of bodybuilding, believe it or not, and then we worked out in the garage. But let me tell you what we did when we did arms, for instance. This was this came to me. If you ever doing arm curls, you ever watch a guy doing arm curls?
No, never.
I'm
Absolutely have never watched a guy do arm curls.
That was a man test right there. Yeah. Good. Okay, good answer. All right. If you're in a gym and you watch guys do arm curls, actually most movements in a gym, most guys are not lifting weights properly. A lot of times they're swinging their back and they're doing arm curls, but they're swinging their back and they're throwing it up with everything. They're using every ounce of their body, their legs, their toes, their back, and there's everything else to get that so they can go, oh, I arm curled 120 pounds today. Well, no. That's like a guy saying, yeah, what are you benching? And I hate people asking, what do you bench? There's no man on earth that has not lied about how much he benches.
What do you bench?
Yes.
One of the best Saturday Night Live skits ever. What do you bench?
Yeah.
And I've talked about it on the show before. I won't say it again, but Google what do you bench Saturday Night Live. You will not be able to stop laughing.
I've never met someone that I believe them when they tell me what they bench. Because at the height of my lifting weights, when I was as strong as I've ever been, I've been in the gym. I mean, I have been in the gym and I mean, never missed a workout. I mean, drinking protein shakes and blah, 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 doing everything is. And then I talk to a guy and I go, and he says, you know, you work out? Yeah, I work out. Yeah. I'm bunching 380 right now. You couldn't sniff 380 right now. Okay. What are you talking about? It's not possible that you're benching 380 right now. You know what I mean? So what we did with the arm curls, because you know, we were doing arm curls and I realized I was getting that habit because you get that number in your head. Like I wanted to get to 110-pound arm curls, right? And I got there and I think, great, 110. But then I started realizing, yeah, I am, you know, using my back too much, whatever. So here's
throwing your body, you're throwing your back, right?
Yes. So here's what we did, Rob. It's genius right here.
I can't wait.
Okay, so the garage was not insulated, right? There was no sheetrock, right? It was just the studs and 2x4s and whatever. And so you know the moving dollies, you know a dolly that you're moving stuff, and you have the ratchet on there to tighten stuff up on the dolly.
Yes.
Okay.
The refrigerator dolly.
Yes. So what we did, we took that off. We nailed it to the wall. So I stand against the wall. My brother ratchets me to the wall. So it's not even possible for you to move. Then he hands you the bar. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, yes, you're suffocating as this is happening. You can't breathe because it's going to cross your chest so tightly, but it does not allow you to cheat whatsoever. So my 110 pounds dropped down to more like 80 pounds. So that was real. But it all starts in the garage, man. I mean, you know what? So many dreams and so many things start in a garage. Look at all the garage bands that started. Some guys singing and playing in the. I bet any man who's ever played the drums is relocated to the garage. You know what I mean? That's where they got to play. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna name off some bands that started in the garage. The Ramones, No Doubt, Nirvana, Creedence Clearwater Revival, The Who, Buddy Holly, Weezer, all bands that started in the garage. Wow. So
I bet there's 1,000 more that
yes,
we would know.
100%. So for floor guys, I mean, I just thought, and they're not particularly nice looking either, by the way, garages. I don't like a garage that's a part of the house. When you drive up, you pull into the driveway and it's part of the house. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think that's a good look. I mean, I just don't. But what are you going to do? I mean, you got to have it. It's become like the most important room in the house for men. You know what I mean? That's where you go in. That's where you go when you tinker with stuff. You get out. You know what I mean? That's your own world right there. And I still remember my uncle that I did floors with. His passion was building hot rods. And he had a Vega. You know, Vega was nothing to write home about, but this was the baddest Vega on planet Earth, man. I mean, he took off the door handles. You know what I mean? Where there's no, it's mm-hmm. all, mm-hmm. and had the tires on there, like massive tires on the back. He had this all jacked up and everything. Had the hood scoop and everything. It was a cool looking car. But
you are really showing your age, man. If you're talking about a Vega.
Well, how about this?
For anybody who doesn't know, and there's probably a ton of people right there who have no idea who built the Vega.
Yeah.
That car company's gone. You can imagine that? There was another car company around that is not around when we were born, that's not around today.
Chevrolet didn't build a Vega.
I thought it was American Motors or
Maybe it
AMC.
was. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
I think it was the American AMC, American
you-
Motor Company, right? I
you-
thought they had the Javelin, the Vega.
Who had the
Pace-
Gremlin? The Gremlin was another one. Remember, where's the other half of your car, Toots? Remember that commercial?
All right, I might be wrong.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a car guy.
I am. That's why I thought for sure. Now you got me questioning it. Who made the Vega? I'm going to the phone. This is what you usually do, but I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Who made the Vega?
Dun, 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 dun,
Exactly.
dun, 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 dun.
I am so freaking wrong. You're right.
No
Chevy.
kidding.
Chevy
Wow.
made the Vega.
So you broke up a little bit. What was you say there?
Wayne was
All right.
right. That
All
was a
right.
Chevy Vega.
Yep.
And I
That
think
was-
AMC made the Gremlin.
I think you're right on that. Yeah.
The Gremlin, I think they made the Javelin, the Matador,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they even made, remember the Pacer? Remember that car?
Oh, that was the ugliest car on earth. Yeah. Everybody could see in.
That was crazy car. And I
Yeah.
think that was American Motors.
I think you're right.
That was the car that put them out.
Well, yeah. Ford made the Pinto, right?
Yeah, Ford
Yeah.
Pinto.
Yeah. So, okay.
All right. So you said all these great companies and bands and everything got their start in a garage.
Yep.
You forgot one company.
Okay.
Good old RJ Associates out of East Greenbush, New York.
Start in the garage.
We started in a garage. Yep. I was 20 years old and I had to rent a garage. And I'll tell you the story of how
Okay.
I got my first set of equipment, my own set of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
We're on a job up in Utica, New York. And this old timer walks in and he said, my brother died a few months ago. You guys want to buy a bunch of this stuff here? Because he was watching us sand the bowling alleys, So I said, I go, yeah. And so my dad's like, what? My dad's screaming over, what's he want? What's he want? I go, nothing. He's good.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anything.
Mhm.
He wants to bowl.
Yeah.
So we go back to work. So I took the guy's number, didn't say anything. Now Pete was working at that time, and he goes, "Hey, what's going on?" I said that guy's selling a bunch of floor sanding equipment. Let's go take a look at it.
Mhm.
So we drove up on Saturday. Couple of drums, buffers, the whole thing.
Mhm.
Lady says, make me an offer. What, I just need this stuff cleaned out, get everything out of the basement. I was like, all right. I said, how's $800 sound? She goes, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Did I feel? Yeah.
Well, of course. Yeah.
I am going straight to hell on that one. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, you take advantage of a widow. Aren't you a good guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I always told myself she nailed it in the life insurance. She just wanted
There
to
you
put
go.
equipment
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Just had I had everything: paper, rolls of paper, nailers, everything. Just think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm putting all the stuff in the garage, in the truck, and Pete goes, "Where are you going to put it? You can't show your dad. He'll flip, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you bought it. That was his equipment. He would have bought it.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and plus,
Or you're showing them you're leaving, right?
yeah. So I found this place, the next town over, Rensselaer, New York. I found this garage for rent, 2-car garage, $35 a month. 2-car garage. It's kind of old though. One door didn't work, and the other one, it's the doors that would flip straight up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not the
Yeah,
roller,
yeah.
but just like
No,
one big
yeah.
south. Yeah, right.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, and that thing was a mother to get open. But hey, $35. dirt floor, no concrete. It was a dirt floor.
Was
But
this
I
a
opened
was this a
it.
residence?
It was in the back of a lady's house, this old house.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Plus, the lady who owned it, she was, I don't know, 70s or 80s, completely blind. And she wanted cash.
Yeah. Oh boy.
One of the meanest ladies you ever saw. And when they had to pay her, you had to go in the house and pay her. So Pauline and I had just started dating. Like I said, I was 20 years old. So Pauline would go into the house with me and count the money out to her, right? And the lady would be screaming at her, "What is this? What is this?" Right? That's a 10, right?
Yeah.
And this is a 20, and this is a 5, right? And she'd be she couldn't see a damn thing. But I remember we opened up the garage door and I saw a workbench in there. I go, "I'll take it." I saw this ratty old workbench in there. I'm like, "Oh, that's where I'm going to make the magic happen right there on that workbench, man. I'll tell you."
Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So then, about 3 months later, I buy a motorcycle, a semi chopper. Oh, you should have seen me on that. I was born to ride, man.
Yeah.
I really was born to ride. Now I'm living at home at this time, right? So now I bring a motorcycle home. My parents are like, "No, you are not going to live here and drive a motorcycle." They had a friend that got killed, and no motorcycles in this house. So I just started laughing. Oh, okay, no problem. I got my own garage that you don't even know about.
Right.
So now I got my motorcycle in there, got my workbench, all my equipment. I mean,
you're leading a double life.
Oh my God, it's like heaven. It's like my own little slice of heaven, And I'd be working on that motorcycle and just revving the out of it and everything, and the old broad would be screaming out the back, and "I'll throw you out," and it was just great times, man. Just absolutely great times. I wish I had that garage today. That was a fun place.
When Julie and I were first going out together, our first apartment was a house behind another house, above a garage. Okay, and one of the neighbors used the garage. They parked a Volkswagen in there. So the first night that we stayed there together, we're in the house, and then we hear the neighbor from each side come in, and they're underneath the house talking, right? And the one guy goes, I mean, we're being quiet. You can't, we're just being real quiet and everything. And the one guy goes, the other one goes, "I guess you rented the place out, huh?" He goes, "Yeah." And he says, "Did you meet him?" He goes, "Yeah, young couple." He goes, "She seems like she's all right, And I'm waiting for, what's he like? You know what I mean? Nothing. Nothing. That's all that, but the guy started his Volkswagen. Rob, the fumes that came up through that garage up into our apartment was ungodly, man. $340 a month, and I think it was like 340 square feet. It was no bigger than that. And that was she was going to school, and but that's the garage where we started. Same thing. We bought our sanders. We put everything down there. We stored our wood down there. That started our business down there in that garage down there, and the lifts and weights down there. Everything started down there, man. And I still have my notes where I put my notes up there for different jobs and everything. And I mean, I don't think it was maybe it was like an 8x12. You know what I mean? I don't think it was any wider than that or any bigger than that. But that was where we started, man. And I think so many guys in this business, that's where they started, in a garage. And you wonder if they didn't have that. I guess now it's storage spaces. There's kind of take the place of a lot of garages, right? But
yeah, but I don't know. There's just no. I've never seen anybody hang in a storage space.
Unfortunately, I have. But
oh, that's right. You're from California.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you probably got people living in storage spaces.
Well, we did. We absolutely did. I mean, we went from having storage place and whatever. Then pretty soon you realize this guy, he's actually living in that one, 2 doors down from you, and then another guy would live. You know what I mean? So it's kind of sad. But also, I told you before, the rent went from like $300 a month to $800 a month for those storage units. But that's, like I said, that's California, the prices. But yeah,
What town was that garage in, or your
San
apartment?
San Leandro. Yeah, San Leandro. Well, we lived a few miles from Oakland.
Okay. Hey, a little sidebar to that story about the my garage. So Pete and I are doing side jobs, not really talking to the old man about it. You know what I mean? Not nobody really knew. And then we're on a side job, a couple towns away. And who walks through the front door of the job?
No kidding.
Yeah,
Is that right? Your dad.
right through the front door of the job.
Oh man.
Big smile on his face. He goes, "So, where'd you get all this equipment?" He said it was that old guy up in Utica, wasn't it? And I was like, "Oh my
Wow,
God.
no kidding.
Oh my God. How the hell how did he know this?" Right? And I'm like, well, back then we had an 8-man crew, so tough to keep a secret.
Yeah.
Right? Floor guys love to talk because
Yeah.
most of the time the machines are going. So when they turn the machine off, right, they're
Yeah.
chatty Cathy doll, right? So yeah, the old man walks in, big smile on his face. "So what'd you pay for it?" I said, I don't know, 800, 850, whatever. And he goes, "Okay, well," he goes, you owe me this." He goes, "This is really my equipment because you bought this on my time. I was paying you. So you actually bought this equipment from me. So you owe me this 800." And he goes, "And it's worth a lot more than 800. I haven't decided what you owe me, but it's going to be more than 800 because you bought this on my time."
What was he, the mafia?
Yeah. My dad lived for things like this, okay?
Yeah.
He and of course he never charged me, right? He never
Yeah.
charged me. He was just holding it over my head, just having a ball with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the reasons I want to say this about this episode, what kind of caught my attention about this is that, don't let anybody squash your dreams. If you're starting out very small and with you don't have a shop or whatever, you're working out of a small garage and that's where, or even 30 years from doing floors, you're working in a garage. That's the beauty of the American spirit, man, and being an entrepreneur and having that your piece of the pie and everything. So I don't think there's a damn thing wrong with it. And in the end, sometimes it saves a lot of headaches. And I've seen guys go from garages to big fancy buildings and what have you, and then end up going back to the garages and being more happy than ever. So not, don't let anybody, if you're working out of a garage or you're just starting and like we did, I mean, Rob with no dirt floor, hiding stolen merchandise, and
I paid. That was not stolen. Okay.
okay,
I
all
bought
right,
the motor. I had a good year that year. That year I bought all my sanding equipment, $800 or 850. I think it was. I can't remember which one it was. And I bought the motorcycle for $400.
wow.
Oh yeah, that was
Back
a
in
good
the
year
days.
for me. I did all right.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, okay, so not only was I living in working in 300 square foot house with working out of a tiny garage, the first van I bought for doing floors was a 1965. I would love to have that van right now, by the way. It was, but it was a 3 on a column. You know what I mean? Well, I mean,
Yes. 3 on the
somebody,
column.
yeah. And I was driving down the freeway one time, and I just happened to be next to another beater old van. Right? I'm driving down the road, and all of a sudden, the exhaust is so loud, like a Harley Davidson, right? And at the same time, I look at him, he looked at me, and I'm wondering, is that him or is that me? And then I put the clutch in and I revved it, and it was me. My muffler fell off. And I thought, hell yeah, man, this sounds great. And so it was a rough start. Well, listen, when I said we bought our first equipment, you talked about your first equipment. We bought ours from a guy called it was T. Barth and Trom in the Bay Area. and I think it was $1,200. I bought the big machine and the edger for $1,200. I could not afford the buffer. And so we worked at these apartments, and it was months before we got a buffer. So everything we braided between coats was on our hands and knees. You know what I mean? That was it. That and could barely afford this. The first installation I did, my uncle worked for me for one day and made more money that one day than in the whole 2 weeks because I bid it wrong and whatever, and I didn't have all the equipment. I didn't have a nailer to nail a Kavanaugh nailer, and so they were that that's a school of hard knocks, brother, is what it was. But you know what, man, it makes you who you are, and you just got to keep building on those mistakes and problems and challenges, and keep putting your head down and moving forward. And you know what, um, I, there's nothing like hard work, man. And when you don't have a plan B, and there's no plan B in sight, you, you ain't got no choice but making it work. So, but that's what it was, man. So,
Oh, I bet everybody listening to this show has definitely get some really good garage stories.
yeah,
Hanging out in garages, absolutely.
yep. So, well, my arms didn't get any bigger. They didn't hold up. The straps around my arms. I mean, it worked for a while, but as all good things come to an end.
That's why I got a preacher bench.
Yeah, preacher curls.
Preacher curls.
Yeah, we
you
had
can't
that.
cheat. You can't cheat.
You can. I know what they say. Well, you remember what was the?
I haven't figured it out how to cheat on
there was also
a
that
preacher
bar.
bench.
What was the name of that bar? That you put the bar around your neck also, and you did arm curls with that. Remember those?
No.
Oh man, everybody used to have them back then. I don't know, whatever. So yep. You know what? You know what I learned out of lifting weights? You know what I learned out of all the years of lifting weights?
What's that?
Is whoever the man said thousands of years ago that moderation is key was right. You know what? All them squats, them lifting heavy, and all the benching and all that. You know what I mean? Really, moderation is key, man. I know when you're a young kid, you're influenced by man, you want to get big and all that kind of stuff. But as you get older, what the hell does it matter anyhow now? So.
What the hell does it matter? I'm just gonna throw the towel in anyways. Yeah. Exactly.
So, I feel like a kid, an old man telling an 8-year-old kid, "It ain't worth it, kid. It's never going to work anyhow. Just forget it."
Do you feel old? I don't feel old. Do you feel old?
No, I don't feel old.
I don't feel old at all. I mean,
no.
I remember guys on my dad's crew who were 60, and I was like, my God, that is the oldest man in the world right there.
Yeah.
Look at that guy. You know, I don't feel that way at all.
No, I only feel old when the people I work with tell me that I'm old. That's the only time that I feel old.
Well, I'll tell you, you want to feel old.
No.
A lot of the guys who were in training, a lot of the guys that I work with, I could be their dad. Actually, they're the same age as my kids.
Yeah.
Jordan Anderson is the same age as my son.
Wow.
Actually, he's a year younger than my kid. Okay. So, I'm used to that now. That doesn't bother me, right?
No,
Now I'll show you young buck something. But we hired the new kid, Pedro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Pedro's 18.
Wow. He'd be a grandkid.
Yeah. Now we're getting there. Right. I picked him up in Nashville. We stopped to get some supper. It was kind of late. We hadn't eaten, and, so we're getting to know each other and everything. And he asked me how old I was.
Oh.
Yeah. First day. First day on the job. First day I met him. Well, it wasn't his first day on the job, but first time I had worked with him.
Out of the mouths of babes.
Yeah. And he goes, wow.
Oh, man.
He goes, well, wait a minute. He followed it up with, you don't look that old. I'm like, wow, thanks.
Oh, there you go.
60.
That's good.
Yeah. But then he turns right around after he goes, you don't look that old. And in a couple of minutes, he takes a couple of bites and he's like, man, you could be my grandfather. He goes, I think you're older than my grandfather. I'm like, thank you very, keep going.
The hits just keep coming. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one good thing that does come out of it, though, when I'm with the guys and we're doing training or whatever, and we have to carry adhesive. Every time I pick up bell adhesive, somebody goes, no, you don't. I'll get that. You don't have to do that. And I used to resent it, but now I'm okay with it. No, you don't pick up that plywood, Wayne. We got it. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
If I'm picking a machine up or something and put it on a panel, whatever, oh my God, yeah, they all run over like, no.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had a good one. I fell the other day.
Mm.
I fell up in Toronto, had a fall.
There's nothing uglier than watching an old man fall, is there?
Well, this is the second fall this year.
Mm.
Now I'm thinking, wait a minute, what's going on? Both same thing. Got my foot. I was showing a kid how to do something on the machine. Got my foot wrapped in the cord. Started to walk away. Boom. Down goes Frazier.
Wow.
When I fell, I still remember my old judo tricks.
Mm.
You roll on that shoulder. You roll right over, baby. So on, big man. Yeah. Down goes Frazier. But I hit and roll right over. Boom. Right back to Judo 101, man.
Here's what I notice when I fall now. Like when you're young and you fall, you realize, okay, I'm going to fall now. You just go, all right, well, I'll just get this over with. I'll fall. But as you get older, you don't want to fall. So you fall ugly now. Like yeah. I'll take out the cabinets. I'll keep stumbling to the other side of the room and knock out that thing because I just don't want to fall. And then I'm going to take out this guy and I'm going to splay myself out on the floor like I was shot.
I'm grabbing for stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'll take a kid down with me.
My falls now are very slow.
Yes.
It takes a while to get down.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I have time to think. All right, go back to 8th grade judo.
Yeah.
That shoulder roll.
You're exactly right. The falls are slower now.
The funny part is watching people try not to laugh, right? And they're like, "Are you okay?" As they're crying.
Yeah.
Alfredo didn't hold back though. He just thought it was the funniest thing that he'd ever seen in his life. You
find out who your real friends are when you fall. That's the damn truth.
Well, I yell at everybody, don't just stand there, help me up for God's sake.
Yeah. All right, well, that's a good place to leave it.
I will tell you this. I fell in Jersey, banged my knee up a little bit, no big deal. The fall, everything still hurts, and that was like, I fell on Thursday.
Well, yeah.
my elbow, my knee, my shoulder. Pauline's like, because one day she saw me like doing this. I go, yeah, my shoulder's still a little. She goes, take some Tylenol. Why don't you take some Tylenol? I said, because I'm a tough guy. I'm not going to take a Tylenol for a fall. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to endure a little bit of pain in their life. I can't just be popping pills for everything.
Or else you'd be falling all the time.
Right. It was just a little fall.
I thought you was going to say you started falling in New Jersey, and by the time you fell, you were actually in New York. That's the way it feels. All right, Rob.
I'm grabbing onto the imaginary handicap rail.
And if you're next to me too, I'll pull you down with me. I'm that helpless. Even if you're another old guy or a young kid, like a 7-year-old kid, I'll drag you down with me
I know if you and I ever go fishing and you go over the side in the bite, I'm not gonna go for you because
please don't.
You can't swim. Now that I know that, you're just gonna drag me under.
Yeah, don't listen to anything I say because I will 100% take you down with me. Yeah. The panic is that real. All right, this has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Please stay tuned for another episode.